Cadillac is a brand best known to Australians by reputation, but it's not until now that we've had a chance to drive its cars. That's right, Cadillac is coming back to Australia before the end of 2024, and it's doing it with an all-electric lineup. The first car to join the ranks is this Cadillac Lyriq large SUV, set to rival the like of the Mercedes-Benz EQE, BMW iX, and Audi e-tron models. Does it have what it takes to stack up against those polished rivals? Well, we're in Los Angeles to find out. I've always personally loved the design of Cadillacs. They are unlike anything else on the roads, and they will stand out, especially in Australia. Now, in terms of design, we've got a crystal shield front apron design, which is really unique on the road, and obviously it is closed off because it is an electric vehicle. Then down the side, you've got a set of unique drop-down LEDs, which do have some pretty trick lighting technology. We've got a set of 22-inch wheels down the side of the car. In Australia, we're going to get 21-inch wheels and a unique suspension tune, but for the time being, we also do get a charge port on the left-hand side, which won't change. Now, down the side of the car, we've got a set of pop-out door handles as well, which unlock as soon as you pop the key button. And then in the rear end, we've got a sloping rear roof design, which is really unique and sort of talks to the coupe-styled SUV. Now, while we're at the rear end of the vehicle, I will pop open the electric-powered tailgate to reveal a 791-litre space. That is really surprisingly large considering it is a sloping roof design, so well done to Cadillac in fitting in all that storage capacity. Cadillac will be a familiar name to the Australian market. There have been a few attempts to launch the luxury marque locally. The brand was even weeks away from delivering CTS models in late 2008 before the global financial crisis hit and GM backed out at the last minute. But then again, the Cadillacs of today are vastly different to the chrome-laden, high-displacement and tail-finned cars of the brand's past. Cadillac is determined to stay for the long haul too, citing this latest relaunch has been in the works since 2015, and its products are factory right-hand drive built rather than being remanufactured to right-hand drive specification locally like some other American models. We've previously heard that the Lyriq is only the starting point too. More electric models are due in 2025, and while the brand isn't saying which ones yet, we're tipping the more affordable Optic will join the range to take the fight to the Tesla Model Y. But as for the here and now, the Cadillac Lyriq is a 5-door battery-powered large SUV designed to take the fight to rivals such as the Mercedes-Benz EQE SUV, BMW iX and the Audi Q8 e-tron. In fact, Cadillac representatives have previously stated that the Lyriq was benchmarked against these cars. But there's good news because the Cadillac Lyriq will launch in Australia priced lower than first anticipated. The new Lyriq will come to Australia in 2 variants, the luxury and sport model grades, priced from $117,000 and $119,000 respectively. A sizable undercut compared to its European rivals. It loses nothing in terms of specification in comparison to those rivals either. Its high-tech electric powertrain is served by a 102 kWh battery that sends 388 kilowatts and 610 Nm to an all-wheel drive system. The car is said to travel 530 kilometers on a full battery charge, right up there for a large SUV with an all-wheel drive capability. The brand states that the car has proper 50-50 weight distribution for even driving dynamics, as well as a low mount battery aiding its centre of gravity. Cadillac claims a maximum DC fast charge rate of 190 kilowatts. In terms of how you buy one, Cadillac is selling the Lyriq in a direct-to-consumer type scheme in which buyers will be able to spec their cars online and have them delivered through an experience centre, initially planned for Sydney or Melbourne. Customers elsewhere can have their car delivered to them, though the brand is planning a wider showroom footprint in the future too. In terms of specification, the Lyriq Luxury is typified by chrome accents on the exterior, where the sport version gets darker trim, a unique grille, and black chrome finishes for the front and rear fascias. The Cadillac Lyriq goes up against some stiff competition, so if you need a refresher on its rivals, you can research them all on Drive.com.au. You can even browse examples of its in-market competitors such as the BMW iX or Audi Q8 e-tron on Drive Marketplace. Step inside the Lyriq's interior and it's hard not to be impressed by the amount of nice materials and impressive technology on offer. Now, the entire space is dominated by a 33-inch screen which does span from the digital instrument cluster to the infotainment screen itself. And something unique that I haven't seen before is a touch-enabled digital instrument cluster, which can cycle between varying displays. Now, in terms of other things I like about this Lyriq's cabin, I do like this cantilevered center console design, and you do have a lot of storage down here as well for like handbags, that kind of odds and ends. And obviously you are getting dual cup holders, a sizable center console tray, and then a pop-out little cubby here as well. But overall, in terms of fit and finish and materials use, Cadillac has put a lot of effort into making this cabin feel nice, and it presents really well. The only thing I think could use a little bit more adjustment is the side bolsters. I wish they did offer a little bit more support when you are going through corners, but overall, especially inside this interior right now, I'm feeling very comfortable. Here in the second row, I'm finding I've got a decent amount of space in terms of knee room behind my own driving position, but headroom is a little constrained underneath this full panoramic sunroof. And I do find that you do have a decent amount of amenities as well. We've got heating and ventilated seats in the back here, air controls as well, air vents obviously, dual USB-C ports in addition to a full AC power port. And overall, I'm finding it's a nice ambience and nice sort of light that you do get afforded by this panoramic sunroof. Obviously, you do get a pull-down center console with a pair of cup holders. And one thing I do like about this Lyriq is the fact that you do have 2 steps of seat recline, but unfortunately Cadillac doesn't have a sliding second row. We're driving the Cadillac Lyriq in America at the moment, and even in America, this does feel like a big car in its surroundings. We are on a tight, twisty road at the moment, and you can definitely feel its width as you go around these tight canyon roads. The car is sort of handling this sort of terrain not too badly, but for this car, it is a very American tune in its ride and handling. So it does have a lot of sway in the body control. It is very bouncy when you go over bumps. It is definitely tuned towards that more comfort and luxury specification. Now, for Australian consumption, we will have a different tune, which is said to be a little bit more of a sporty ride, which is typically what Australians do like in their cars. But one thing I am finding with this Cadillac Lyriq is it's absolutely silent inside this cabin. There is no noise coming through from the wheels. There's not a lot of wind noise either. I'm sort of traversing over cat's eyes at the moment because this is a wide car, and you really don't have that much intrusion inside the cabin. So Cadillac has done a really impressive job in terms of ride refinement and cabin comfort. So well done in that regard. So what is powering this Cadillac Lyriq? Well, its dual electric motors do output 388 kilowatts, which is a huge amount of power for a car of this size. It's actually basically the more power than you do get in a BMW M3. And when you do punch away from a standstill, it doesn't really feel like you get that jolt in the back sort of acceleration punch. It's much more when you are in the driving on the move and then you punch the throttle, you do get that instantaneous response from the car. And it is really powerful. As you'll see now, absolutely wild acceleration from the Cadillac Lyriq, especially for something of this size. Now, I do want to say with the steering, it is a little bit of a slow steering system, and you do require a surprising amount of steering effort to get around, especially tight bends, but it is a very light system as well. So when you are maneuvering the car around town and putting it into car spaces, you don't have that same sort of frustration with maneuvering this car into a tight spot. So that is handy for Australian roads as well. Now, as I said, this American car does have a bit of a softer ride and handling tune, and it does really sort of just bounce over sort of yumps and imperfections in a road. Hopefully it does get tightened up for Australian roads to a much larger extent, because it's not the most comfortable feeling. It does feel a bit floaty and a little bit boaty, but there's no doubting that the luxury aspect of the ride comfort is impressive. One thing I do like in this Cadillac is the fact that you do have a lot of room inside the cabin, because in terms of shoulder space, I do have a broad sort of shoulder room around me, and even though you don't have the ultimate sort of lumbar and side support that you do want when you are threading this car through some twisty corners, it is a nice, soft and supple seat, and the materials choice inside the cabin has been really nice overall. Now, when it comes to creaks and rattles, you do get a little bit of a rattle from the center console, and when you are leaning into a corner and putting your knee on the door panel, you do get sort of a little bit of noise, which isn't the most sort of refined thing, but overall, this car is really quiet inside the cabin, so big plus for Cadillac in that regard. So our taste test of the Cadillac Lyriq has proved that this is an interesting vehicle, and it will shake up the Australian market, I think. I don't know if it will achieve the same success as the Mercedes-Benz EQE or BMW iX, but it is a point of difference for those unique buyers. I do find that this car, in its American specification, it is a little bit too soft and it is a little bit too wallowy on the road, but there is no doubting its performance. Now, if you've enjoyed this video or learned something interesting about the Cadillac Lyriq, be sure to give us a like on YouTube and stay subscribed to get all of our future content. As well, you can read the full review of this car, the electric Cadillac Lyriq, before it launches before the end of 2024 on Drive.com.au.